everyone. Do you hear me? I think I muted everyone. So this is the first time in a few weeks that we are meeting uh, since I got discharged from the hospital. And on personal level, most of you had asked me how I am doing. I'm doing perfect. I have almost recovered, but I have to watch my health and diet for the next 6 months or so. That being said, I want to make an announcement before we start. So usually how we do this Friday evening program is that we first meditate. We do meditation for the first 45 minutes, and then we give the talk. But from today onwards, until a few more weeks have passed, so I'm going to skip the meditation and we will start the Dhamma talk right away. And then, so to the end of, at the end of the talk, and we will meditate. But as we start the meditation, I will end the meeting. So that you could meditate your own as long as you wish. And the meeting would end after the talk and by giving you simple guidelines for silent meditation. That being said, as you know, today's topic is positive obstructive karma. This is a topic that we discussed at length in our past Zoom meetings, both in Sinhala and English. And last Sunday, we talked about the same topic, but in Sinhalese. And then English-speaking people like you asked me to repeat the Dhamma talk in English this time, so that you wouldn't miss what we discussed in our Sinhalese talk on the same topic, positive obstructive karma. Since we have given a lot of talks on the Buddha's teaching of karma, we are not going to use the time to repeat all that. However, I would like to remind you that the karma is one of the most complex realities, regardless of your cultural, religious, spiritual, ethnic background. You may believe in karma. It is my experience that despite their cultural, spiritual, religious, etc. backgrounds, people in the world, especially here in America, people do believe in karma. And karma is one of the fundamental teachings of the Buddha. So since there's some relevance to today's topic, let me share with you that from among different categories of karma, we do believe we come across one certain category of karma that is based on its mutual connection. In Buddhism, we don't believe in fate or destiny. We do believe in karma. Unlike fate, karma, we create our own karma. When it comes according to the belief in fate, you have no control whatsoever over your fate. But in Buddhism, we don't believe in fate, but we do believe in karma. You create your own karma, and based on the kind of karma, you may or may not become a slave to your own karma, or you may or may not become a master of your own karma. Now, you are familiar with these 4 Pali words, and you don't have to worry about these Pali words. We are using, we try our best not to use Pali terms in this Friday evening talk, so as for everyone to feel, for everyone to never feel left out. So, however, you are familiar with these 4 words in Pali: Janaka, Upathambaka, Upapidaka, and Upaghataka. Janaka, 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 Kamma, or in Pali is Kamma. Kamma is the Pali word. Karma is Sanskrit, Sinhalese, and English word. So, Janaka, Kamma, or Karma. And second word, Janaka, Karma, means generative karma or reproductive karma. And the second one is Upathambaka, Upatthambaka, Upathambaka karma, meaning supportive karma. And you don't have to worry about the Pali terms. Just remember the English terms. First one is reproductive karma. Second one is supportive karma. Third term is Upapidaka karma. Upapidaka, Upapidaka karma. Upapidaka means obstructive karma. And the last and fourth one is Upaghataka. Upaghataka, Upaghataka. Since our Kalyan Mitra from Jacksonville, Florida, Shalinder Ranasinghe, is uploading this talk to YouTube. Later on, you can go on to YouTube and listen to this talk again and again, so that you, in case you miss these Pali terms, even though you're not supposed to, you don't required to remember these Pali words, you can go and listen to them again, learn those terms again. So Upaghataka is destructive karma. Again, once again, the 4 Pali, the 4 Buddhist terms that you may remember today are reproductive karma, supportive karma, obstructive karma, and destructive karma. Reproductive karma is whatever the karma that triggered this lifetime at the last thought moment at our death from our past life, immediate past life. So, and that is called reproductive karma, the kind of karma that reproduces us, that brings us back to life, is called a reproductive karma. Karma that reproduces us or creates us again, that is reproductive karma. And then the second one is supportive karma. Whatever the karma that supports the reproductive karma. And the duty of the reproductive karma, the role of the supportive karma is to feed or enhance or sustain the reproductive karma. So that's the role of supportive karma. Supportive karma supports or sustains the power of the reproductive karma. Let's say someone was born with a negative reproductive karma, and then the supportive karma that supports the reproductive karma must be of the same same category. If someone was born with a negative reproductive karma, and then the supportive karma would continue to sustain the power of that karma as a negative karma. And so reproductive karma and supportive karma are of the same kind. Whereas when it comes to the third one, obstructive and destructive, the third and fourth karmas, obstructive and destructive karma, they are the opposite of reproductive karma. Unlike the supportive karma, reproductive, obstructive karma, and destructive karma, obstructive karma would obstruct or try to block the reproductive karma, or the destructive karma could completely destroy the reproductive karma. So our topic here is, our focus is not on reproductive karma, not on supportive karma, not on the destructive karma, but the obstructive karma. And today, to specify that, we are not going to talk about the negative reproductive karma, negative obstructive karma. We are only going to talk about the positive obstructive karma. Positive obstructive karma, whenever you hear the word positive in Buddhist terminology, it means good. Now, the role of the positive obstructive karma is to help you, bring you some luck, some fortune into your life all of a sudden. Now, of different kinds of karmas, different categories of karma according to the Buddha's teachings, positive obstructive karma is one of my favorites. Of course, you cannot talk about favorite karma. If there's a kind of karma that you favor, that is your favorite, it should be any good karma, and nobody would like to call bad karma their favorite. So the positive obstructive karma is such that all of a sudden it impedes, it starts to impede, starts to temporarily block whatever the negative karma that has been governing, that has been predominating your existence, your life since your birth. And then, so why I personally find positive obstructive karma fascinating and beautiful, because it comes from nowhere all of a sudden in your life, and then by the time a positive obstructive karma, hereafter we can abbreviate that, you can use positive obstructive as PO karma, that we don't have to use those loan terms. PO karma, meaning positive obstructive karma, or you could say, so positive obstructive karma. So let's say we have our own habits. Now, however bad the habit is, we don't see, even if our habits are bad, it is very rare that we see those habits are bad. We fail, or we purposely or consciously or subconsciously, we fail, or we purposely don't see bad habits as bad, because we are obsessed with habits. Now, let's say your life is good overall, but you have been going through some negativities in your life. Probably you fall sick, you get sick on a regular basis, or you break up your friends on a regular basis. You don't have peace of mind in your personal life, despite the fact that you are such a good person. And then, but still, people don't, you fail to have a good relationship with someone on family level, on personal level, on interpersonal level, on societal level, on professional level, etc. And then, so probably you need to change your lifestyle. You need to change the way you have been living your life. But all of a sudden, um, there comes this obstructive karma, which is positive. But by the time, uh, by the moment that a positive obstructive karma hits your life, begin to impede, begin to temporarily block all the negative karma that you have been going through, even if you are well aware that you have been going through some negative karma because of your obsession with your habit, you are not willing to uh, change your life, change your lifestyle. Then what happens is this positive obstructive karma hits you in a way that it hurts. So at the very beginning, when the positive obstructive karma begins to help you, begins to bring you some fortune or luck, and then you don't appreciate that because you are hesitant to break your habitual life pattern. So habitual pattern of life. And then, so at times you are so fortunate, so lucky that the positive obstructive karma hits you in a way that it really hurts. So that is the marvel of the positive obstructive karma. Why, during my talk in Sinhalese, when I talked about the same topic last Sunday for the Sinhalese speaking audience, then I did mention that my own experience, personal experience of positive obstructive karma. And then, so I think even though I'm not supposed to waste time to share my personal stories, but given its perfect relevance to today's topic, I think I should a little bit share um, a story of my impression of the positive obstructive karma. Now, in mid-December last year, I got food poisoning. So that is due to a certain yellow lentil curry, dal curry that I had. So that food poisoning brought me a lot of pain. I had hands-on medicine, first aid medicine, but none of them would help me. And then finally, a Kalyana Mitra family took me to emergency care 2 hours after midnight. And then so doctors would diagnose, scan me, and then they would take me for a colonoscopy. And then later they found out, they decided to have an emergency surgery on me. And then they told me that there's a blockage in my large intestines, and it was a blockage in my bowels. And then they saw that it is critical that they should remove the blockage right away. And within 48 hours, within I guess 48 hours, I had the surgery. So that then I thought about it. So that usually the curry that I had, it is one of my favorite curries, dal or yellow lentils curry. I had never had food poisoning with that one, never, ever in my life. But somehow it was quite unusual. And then subconsciously, though, I began to feel that it was like a blessing in disguise. I felt that probably this food poisoning thing was teaching me a lesson. And so that after the surgery, I put myself in a meditative moment. I put my mind in meditative mode and then thought about it. Food poisoning was a blessing in disguise. Because of the food poisoning, I was taken to emergency care. And since I was taken to emergency care, doctors could scan me and they could perform a colonoscopy on me. And then they could perform a surgery on me and they could save my life. And then so that when I had the intense pain in my belly, in my stomach, I had a negative feeling at the very beginning. It happens to us quite naturally that whenever you lose something, when you encounter sickness, when you break up with certain people in your life, when you lose your job, and then when you have to say goodbye to certain friends that you find near and dear to you, when such things happen, your immediate conclusion would be that you find if you go on the line of karma and you put the blame on karma and say it's my negative karma that I lost my job, it's my negative karma that I happen to break up with my friends, it's my negative karma that I got sick. Not always. At times, positive obstructive karmas, they come, they occur, they come to our life. They positive obstructive a positive obstructive karma uh, so begins to hit our habitual um, pattern of reproductive karma that we had been enjoying, that we had been encountering, that we are under constant domination, predomination since our birth. And then positive obstructive begins to change that, maybe temporary. Because when uh, a negative or positive obstructive karma totally destroys the reproductive karma, uh, it leads to our death. But we are not talking about negative or positive destructive karma here. We are only talking about the positive obstructive karma, the kind of karma, again, just to say again, a kind of good karma that temporarily blocks our reproductive karma or any karma, even supportive karma, whatever, that had that landed us in a negative situation, like in a misery. And all of a sudden, this positive obstructive karma brings us bliss, and it temporarily saves us from the karmic misery, and then it brings us karmic bliss. So that being said, now that's all I got to say. Now I welcome questions pertaining to today's brief Dhamma talk on positive obstructive karma. In case you don't have any questions pertaining to today's brief Dhamma talk, I welcome you to ask me questions, anything about karma, because there are 15 more minutes left. And please unmute yourself and ask.
Ponte?
Yes, Greg.
It's funny because that's exactly one of the questions about Buddhism I had before I started seeing you, and nobody could ever give me the answer.
Okay.
In other words, how does bad things turn out to be good?
Exactly. That's
And then
right. Yeah.
sometimes you're being good, and the road leads to hell.
Exactly.
And I didn't really understand. I couldn't come up with a good or nobody could come up with a good answer until you told us about the 38 masquerading tendencies.
Okay. Masquerade tendency. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it started to make sense
Mm-hmm.
because we're intending this, and then that happens because it was unskillful. And of course, I've had plenty of um, what do you call it? Uh, blessings in disguise throughout my life.
Exact
And
blessing in disguise. We all have that, but we don't value that. We don't see actually. Sometimes it is years later that we would see that.
yeah, I would love to have just plain old good karma, but
Mhm.
hey, blessings in disguise work too. You just,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, you can refer to that those masquerading tendencies of the mind also. Yeah,
mhm,
that's that. Yeah, that is interrelated with karma actually. How our failure to see our own thought patterns can lead to can create unnecessary negative karma.
mhm,
Hmm. Yeah, and then when we, as you say, as we try to see good things in every bad happening, and so that thereby we can invite positive obstructive karma to come and help us. So we have so lots of good karma, and most people are so negative of their existence, and they consciously or subconsciously they block their good karma, because karma, we, as we said, as you know, as you all know, we are the masters of our own karma. So that we were created by the karma that we created. So we create the karma, then the karma in turn creates us back. Actually, that's why the first karma, Janaka karma, is called reproductive karma. That's the interrelation, yeah. And then 100% like and approve your conclusion, Greg. Thank you.
well, thank you, and I hope you start feeling better.
Yeah, thank you, my friend. Thanks a
Mhm,
lot.
mhm.
Mhm. Any other questions, my friends? If there are no questions, so now we can start our meditation, because on doctor's advice, I'm not supposed to remain on use social media or Zoom meetings, but more than an hour. Usually, average could be 45 minutes or so, so that up until I fully recover. And I would. That's why I said at the beginning that we would switch. We would start with the Dhamma talk first, and then question and answers, and then the meditation. So now we end the Dhamma talk at this point, and then so it's time for us to uh, meditate. Once we start our meditation with the simple guidelines, and we would end the meeting. But please continue your personal meditation as long as you wish. And then so let's take a deep breath and breathe out, leaving our palms together on our lap with our backs straight and upright, and slowly close our eyes. Be aware of the two kinds of distractions, internal and external, inner and outer. Inner distractions, internal distractions are any feelings, any thoughts, any memories, any tendencies of the mind that impede your focus at this point, which is at this point is breathing. Outer or external distractions are like sounds or noise occurring in your immediate surrounding. As those distractions occur, don't validate them, don't go after them, don't run after them. As they occur, simply observe them, let them pass. Don't bother them. When you don't bother those distractions stop bothering you. And bring your attention, keep your attention around your nostrils. That's the focal point of mindful breath. That's where the incoming breath begins and the outgoing breath ends. Depending on the level of meditation you are familiar with, the kind of meditation that you have been doing in your life. After the initial breath practice, you may go to those lower or higher levels of meditation. As you continue, you may encounter bodily pain or mental or emotional pain. Whenever that happens, whenever those pains occur, do not validate them. Do not complain that against them. Simply say to yourself, a pain is as impermanent as joy. It is our typical belief that even when we apply the Buddha's teaching of impermanence, we tend to believe, we tend to conclude that only joy is impermanent. Pain is as impermanent as joy. And whenever a pain occurs, mentally, emotionally, or physically, just look at that as a blessing in disguise, and see the value of that pain, since that pain teaches you how impermanent our existence is. That being said, let's continue our personal meditation in silence. Meditate as long as you wish. You may end your personal silent meditation whenever you like. Wishing you a beautiful, fascinating weekend, despite all the pandemic, uh, despite the pandemic uh, that has overpowered science, technology, our power, everything all over the world. Despite the pandemic, we should be able to trust ourselves, use our potential to keep ourselves as healthy as possible. Have a beautiful and weekend. Let me now end the Zoom meeting. Please meditate as long as you wish. Thank you, and may you all be well, happy, and peaceful. Buddha Saranai. Buddha bless you.